So the Ms. Marvel trailer just dropped, and with it came confirmation of a long-rumoured change to the protagonist's power set. Gone are Kamala Khan's abilities to elongate her limbs and embiggen herself to the size of a small building, and in their place she now has the power to produce Green Lantern-esque energy constructs. But why is that such a big deal? Hey heroes, Josh here from Panels to Pixels, with an uncharacteristically current and reactive video. That's right, I don't just watch 30-year-old superhero cartoons and insist that comics were better in my day. I'm hip, I'm fly, I'm with it. Wait, what is it again exactly? Truthfully, the 2014 Ms. Marvel series is one of a select number of comics from the last 20 years that I have anywhere near as much affection for as I do those of the 80s and 90s. For me, Ms. Marvel is a masterful modernisation of the coming-of-age superhero soap opera first defined by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko in the pages of The Amazing Spider-Man. The series follows Marvel's first major Muslim character, Kamala Khan, as she tries to find her place in the world amidst the conflicting commitments of faith, family, friends, and the responsibilities that come with her newly acquired superpowers. And just as it took the bite of a radioactive spider and the death of his Uncle Ben for Peter Parker to learn that with great power there must also come great responsibility, Kamala Khan soon discovers that heroes come in all shapes, sizes, and cultural backgrounds. And from what we see in the trailer, the show looks good, honestly. You know, it looks to be riffing on the same ideas of self-identity and trying to forge your own path while ultimately doing the right thing. Which is what makes it all the more baffling to me that Marvel Studios felt the need to change one of Ms. Marvel's most defining and symbolically significant attributes. In the comics, Kamala's stretchy, embiggening powers serve the story in several ways. Not least of all in how they act as a visual signifier of the character's goofy sense of humour. Series artist and character co-creator Adrian Alphona fills his cartoonist sketching with tons of sight gags and physical comedy. The absurdist imagery of one enormous punching fist or a pair of long loopy spaghetti legs brings plenty of levity to a book that otherwise gets to tackle some pretty serious issues. But perhaps most importantly, the character's powers underpin the book's central theme of identity and otherness. In Ms. Marvel's origin, Kamala Khan is a superhero-obsessed second-generation Pakistani American, struggling to find where she fits in. Alienated by her peers, but at the same time too Western for her conservative Muslim parents' approval, Kamala looks towards her heroes, Captain Marvel and the rest of the Avengers, for moral guidance. As writer and co-creator G. Willow Wilson explains, Captain Marvel represents an ideal that Kamala pines for. She's strong, beautiful, and doesn't have any of the baggage of being Pakistani and different. But as the old saying goes, be careful what you wish for. After sneaking out one night after her 9 PM curfew, pushing the boundaries placed upon her by her parents, stretching her limits, if you will, Kamala has a humiliating experience with some of her fellow students, and is then exposed to Terrigen Mist. At first she believes that she has accidentally consumed alcohol, which is forbidden by most Muslims, sending poor Kamala spiralling into guilt and shame. It's actually quite a sweet and goofy moment, the naive teen thinking that a single sip of vodka could cause her to hallucinate. But wholesomeness soon gives way to horror. "It's like my skin is one big muscle, and that muscle has tensed up," she remarks, before falling to the floor to puke. Her fingers stretching out like tendrils, her limbs ribboning behind her as she runs for help. It's a frightening image, more super horrific than super heroic. Now, shameless plug time. A few years ago, I made a video all about the shared attributes between the body horror genre and the archetypal superhero origin story. It's good, you should watch it. And as typified by Sam Raimi's 2002 Spider-Man film, the fear and anxiety around bodily changes take on an even deeper resonance when combined with a coming-of-age story. Kamala's powers are a literal representation of how awkward and uncomfortable one can feel in their own skin as a teenager, from any background, let alone as a person of colour. The fact is that there's an offbeat uneasiness to Ms. Marvel's powers that helps visualise Kamala Khan's feelings of otherness. The otherness of being a superhero, the otherness of being an inhuman, but most of all the otherness of being a 16-year-old brown girl from Jersey City. I really feel like this is such a crucial part of the character, to her appeal and to the relatability of her story. I can't help but wonder if Kamala's superhero transformation would have anywhere near the same impact without it. And look, I don't want to judge the show too harshly before it even comes out. I know the fact that they're even making a big budget Ms. Marvel Disney Plus show must mean a great deal to a lot of people. But I fear that this deviation from Kamala's comic book origin and abilities may convey a wider misunderstanding of what makes the character so special. The series is clearly going for that quirky indie coming-of-age tone, with the animated scrapbook scribbles and comic book colour palette, Frankly, I can't think of a context better suited to a character with weird, unwieldy, stretchy limbs. Surely Kamala getting to grips with her newfound polymorphic powers could have afforded the show some great comedic moments. Some have speculated that it comes down to the limited special effects budget across a 6-episode series. But in my opinion, Kamala's powers should look kind of dorky and low rent, as opposed to the slick sci-fi energy blast we see in the trailer. It would certainly be more in keeping with her whole awkward teenager meets homemade hero vibe. Others, meanwhile, have suggested that Marvel don't want to cause audience confusion between Ms. Marvel and their soon-to-be introduced other stretchy superhero, Mr. Fantastic. To which I say, how many super soldiers are there in the MCU again? In issue 3 of her initial comic series, Kamala asks herself, what does it mean to have powers? To be able to look like someone I'm not? What if I don't fit into my old life anymore? Like it's a pair of pants I've just outgrown? Would I still be Kamala? Just one issue later, the teenage superhero answers her own question, that powers don't make the hero, and physical appearance doesn't make the person. Because good is not a thing you are, it's a thing you do. And so, without the ability to change her body, without the power to transform into anything she wants to be, how will the MCU's Kamala Khan learn that all she ever needed to be was herself? Thanks for watching this video. I'm actually away from home at the moment and this video was kind of off the cuff, so I apologise if it's a bit rough around the edges. But if you want to see some hopefully less hastily produced videos than this one, don't forget to subscribe to Panels to Pixels and give that bell icon a little ring-a-ding-ding so you never miss out on future uploads. Alright then heroes, be kind, be happy, tell someone that you love them, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!